Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Minister Giffey, Miss Baerbock, women, men, friends. A warm welcome to the first Women's March for Europe. We're here because Europa is a woman, and if she lived today, she would be posting Me Too. Before patriarchy took control of the world, Europa was a goddess, but later, when patriarchy took over, she became the daughter of King Agenor and a plaything for Zeus. He was in charge of the gods of Olympus, and he fell in love with Europa and turned himself into a bull so that he could kidnap her while she was bathing. Of course, nobody asked whether she agreed to this. He put her on his back and carried her across the sea to Crete. Basically, it was an abduction. And later, he neglected her. He just left her there. She had 3 sons and was left to her own resources. A pretty modern story, really. To come back to the beginnings of Europe, as we know from the polis in Greece, when human beings made themselves independent of the gods and kings, women were excluded from public life. In old Rome, women had no voice either. Later, in the Middle Ages, women's ancient knowledge was extinguished. Women were condemned, hunted down as witches, and burnt at the stake. And so it went on during the Renaissance, the Enlightenment, the modern era. And only 100 years ago, the suffragettes fought for us women to vote. And now we've got to a point, again, in some countries in Europe, where rights that we thought were now certainties for women are up for grabs again, even though we don't even have all the rights we want yet. It's enough. We've gathered here to say no to populists, to autocrats, to retrogressive patriarchal structures in Europe and across the world. We stand up for democracy, tolerance and peace, against nuclear rearmament. And that's why we say no to Brexit too. That's enough. It's also enough in industry, in academic life, in schools, at home. We women must become visible at last. We need to help decide what happens in the financial world. We have to dare more, take more decisions, and above all, we have to say no more often. No to violence, no to harassment, no to silence. Not always put up with it, seek harmony, perhaps become depressive as a result and take psychotropic drugs, but vent our anger again and again. And always remember that we are not alone. We've gathered to remember the mythological Europa, but we've also gathered because we want to make Europe, a Europe for women, visible and to turn around the course of events. And only we women can do that with men, with society at large, but the real innovation here will require women's skills. I don't need to go into the details. We're familiar with them. We'll all be better off in medicine, in academia, in companies if women take part. But we simply have to get down to it. We've gathered because we want more acknowledgement for the positive contribution that women make to our society. We know that criminals, terrorists, hackers, the violent people, in most cases are men. And we've gathered because we want to be visible in grammar too, and not simply covered by the male generic. We've gathered because we want to send out a strong signal for humanist values against toxic masculinity. That means we've had enough of men who spread poison like Putin, Erdogan, Trump, Farage, Berlusconi, Grillo, Orban, Xi Jinping, and the many other megalomaniacs who spread this poison with their scrupulous corruption economics and who poison the air around us. Let women and those positive grown-up men take the lead role. Let's march together for all of us, women, men, adults, children, everyone who wants a reasonable future. We have a fantastic program, and I wish all of us a great day.